everybody. I'm Angelique Warner, founder and president at GoGoVee Premium Baby Carrier. I had an opportunity to have a session at the International Babywearing Conference in Iowa last week. It was really good. I had really good feedback from that conference, and people wanted to know more about the things that I talked about in that session. So I figured what greater way than to offer it here and give a recap. Now, just to say up front, if anyone is ever interested in having me come out and do a session, a women's retreat, or any type of talk, I'm more than welcome to do that. I just want to give a little recap. Some of the things we discussed at the International Babywearing Conference in my session, which was entitled OMG, Babywearing Can Optimize Your Time. Because if you stay organized, which is for the O, you can meet your goals, which is the M and the G. So we all know that in life, things get busy. We all have had our little children, whether we still have them now, have babies, or whether they're growing up. But what I wanted to really share with everybody is that everybody can stay organized. Some of the things and tips that I would like to share with you now has to do with when you're organized, it is so important to have routine. If you have routine in your day, you can share and pass that on to your children. You can share responsibilities. There are so many things that mothers naturally tend to want to do on their own because we can have our perfectionist type spirit on and feel like if I don't do it, it's not done right. Well, the reality is if you divide and conquer, you get more done. So those are some of the things I pointed out in that session, is that when you have division of responsibility in your home, things can run smoothly. Everyone feels included. Everyone has a hand in making sure that family is a well-oiled machine. So one of the things that I would say is that as early as 3 years of age, give your children routine responsibility. At that age, they can learn to make their own bed. They can take care of their morning routine, which is something that you can outline. If your morning routine for your child includes them independently brushing their teeth, taking a bath, making their bed, getting themselves dressed, make them responsible for their own little person. If you can do that, then that way they take ownership of themselves and you take one less thing off of your plate. You can have the same thing going on as they get older. Some of the things I suggested is making sure that you have organization with bins. In your children's room, have their bins for their toys, have set drawers for their underclothes, their t-shirts, their night clothes. If everything has a place, you can teach your children to touch it once. That rule applies to not only the children, but to you as well. Touch everything once. It keeps stress down. So if you know that I have to go through mail, why pick up the mail, set it on one table, and say, I'll get to it later? Because you know what? Now you got to touch it again. And you're going to have to come back and say, oh, I started the mail, I didn't finish it. So you know what? Now you got to touch it 3 times. That builds stress of always having a never-ending to-do list. So I encourage you, have a touch it once philosophy in your house with your children by having a routine. This is what we do every morning. This is what we do every afternoon. This is what we do every single evening. This is what we do every day at bedtime. The children get used to that. It cuts down on some of the behaviors that you might see because the children know this is what is expected. They know what to do, when to do, how to do. You've trained them. Then you don't have to deal with the outbursts and why do we have to do this and why does it have to be done that way. They know the routine. It takes a lot of stress off of you as mom. Even with you and your husband, if your children are little, I suggest having division of responsibilities even in your marriage. Tell your spouse, listen, you know, I'm good at these things. I don't mind doing these things. So then you take over those responsibilities. Same with your spouse. If they enjoy doing certain things and they don't mind, give them those responsibilities. There's no reason that you should have to do every single thing in the house because you will get lost in the sauce. That's another topic all in itself. We spend a lot of time talking about self-care. It's so important. If you don't take care of you as mom, as the heartbeat of that home, you have nothing to give your children, nothing to give to your spouse because you're depleted all the time. I shared a little bit about my routine. When my children were very young, we lived on a campus and we took care of 18 children total because we had our 4 children in 4 years and we had 14 preteen and teenage boys. A lot of the moms that lived on that campus, we had a self-care routine. Each and every morning we get up bright and early before our husbands left for work and we would go and meet and go walking. So we had either 45 minutes where we would do speed walking, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, And then on Tuesday, Thursday, we go to the gym and we do workout routines or do weights or things of that nature. That was our self-care time. We had time without children. We had time to take care of our physical bodies and our health. Sometimes we didn't even talk. We used that time to just meditate when we walked and think, or whatever we needed to do to center ourselves. Then we make it back in time to actually take a shower. Some people don't understand how important that is, especially those that are not the primary caregiver. But when you are the primary caregiver, especially with young children, and especially for moms who are breastfeeding, you find that sometimes half the day is gone and you spent the whole morning trying to get the children together, take care of routines. You're trying to feed everyone, prepare for lunch, prepare for dinner, doing laundry, and breastfeeding all in between. You realize you didn't even take care of your basic needs. You didn't even shower yet. So what I suggested is that it was so important to carve out that self-care time before your children wake up. Yes, you're going to have less sleep. However, you feel rejuvenated. So when the kids do get up, you're ready to present yourselves to them completely alert, completely present, giving your best. And so when you can keep that in mind of taking care of you, taking care of your spouse, taking care of even at night, having a little more self-care time. Kids are in bed, house is in order, you're feeling good about how you accomplished everything on your to-do list for the day. You might have time to treat yourself to that glass of wine, that bubble bath, that favorite show that you didn't get a chance to watch during the day. You might have a chance to read that article, listen to that podcast, whatever it is that you deem necessary for you to unwind and have a great night's sleep so you're refreshed to wake up every 2 hours if you're breastfeeding, or in the night with the little ones, you don't feel so depleted. One of the things I want to leave you with is remembering not to get lost in the sauce. Have a routine, because in being lost in the sauce, what you feel like is you're a mesh of something that just doesn't seem like it's you, and you have nothing to give. I always use the analogy of like a really good soup or stew. You know when it's good when you can taste it and have that ratatouille moment where you can identify every single ingredient in its fullness and appreciate how it tastes when it's blended. And that's how your life should be. You should appreciate everything your children bring with their personalities. You should appreciate what your spouse brings with his or her personality. You can also appreciate what you bring with your personality. If everyone is present, if everyone is rested, if everyone is organized, you have a sauce in your family and the flow of your day that is definitely distinguishable individually, but makes a really great tasting sauce. So I encourage you to definitely give some thought to how you run your household, to how you stay organized. And if you're not organized, get organized. If you're not sure how to get organized, I have lots and lots of great tips. I can always give some more pointers. But we're going to stop for now so that you can get a chance to digest some things that I've said and see where you can apply some of the tips and get your life on track so that you and your family is healthy and whole. Thank you so much.